Hey guys, it's Taylor back with Life with Taylor, and today we are going to be reading Reddit. So let's get into it. I think today we are reading, what should we read? Spooky, Am I the Arsehole? Am I Overreacting? Two Hot Takes? What are we thinking? Today I have Paranormal Encounters. Should we do that? What are we thinking? I think we should. Let's hope these are still accessible. Okay. First one. Also, I pre-skimmed read this weeks ago. This says it was posted 27 days ago. I probably read it 24 days ago, so I have no idea what these are. I already posted this on r/ghost stories Reddit, but I figured for more advice I'd come here. I've never seen an apparition or anything like this before, but I'm house sitting for a friend and don't really know what to think right now. I woke up and saw a man standing in front of me in the dark. My first thought, since my boyfriend was over here last night, was it my boyfriend? In my head, I was questioning he did not go home last night, or did he come back for some reason? But I could clearly tell it was not my boyfriend. So naturally, I'm trying to figure out who this man could be. As he is standing here and I'm house sitting for a family that's away on vacation, I start to think that some late 20s looking guy's broken into the house and is staring at me sleep. Why was your boyfriend over when you're house sitting for somebody else's house? A little weird, but I couldn't make out who this man was, but then he sat down on the edge of the bed, slightly facing me, and just stared at me. All I could think was, no, this can't be real, this can't be happening, what is he going to do to me, etc. We just stared in each other's eyes before I blinked and he dissipated right in front of me. I don't think he was a ghost until the fading away right in front of me thing. I thought a man had broken into the house and I was terrified. The first thing I did was ask my friend's Alexa, sorry if that triggered anybody's robot, what time it was, 6:33. And texted my friend that I saw a ghost. Their house is very old and it's plausible, I guess. I knew everyone was going to think I was insane, especially for this detail, but he genuinely looked like Joe Keery. Let me just double check. Yep, thought that's who that was. Honey, maybe it was just a dream. Maybe he was just in your dream. Did you watch Stranger Things at that night? I'm so excited for season 5. I binge watched all 5 seasons in 4 days. But yeah, anyways. Mostly the nose. His eyes were smaller. Of course, everyone I've told so far has asked me if I've watched Stranger Things. But I really haven't. It wasn't exact, it was just a strong resemblance. Their dog did not bark or react in any way. I mean, she's an old pup. My first thought to rationalize this was that my mind twisted something in front of me into a human form, because if I see a coat or something in the dark, sometimes I think it might be a human. But there was truly no rationalizing this. I thought maybe sleep paralysis, but my head and eyes moved just fine. And it wasn't that I couldn't move, I was just afraid to. I think it could be I don't remember. Did it walk, staring at me, and then he sat down so it moved? Honestly, maybe it was a dream? Maybe it was a dream and then you woke up? I don't know. Let's read the comments. I'm perplexed. Somebody said, since you and your boyfriend both experienced this, I believe you. I was a total skeptic until I was confronted with the supernatural, so I know how scary it can be. If I can offer any advice, and I know it's hard, but don't dwell on this. Just do your best to move on. Demons can shapeshift into your favorite actors and loved ones. I've seen demons shapeshift into a character, and one tried to kiss my cheek a few hours ago. Their demons say Jesus 3 times to get rid of them. Why are demons trying to kiss you is my question. Somebody else said, I'm not discounting that it could have been a ghost, but look up hypnagogic hallucinations. It can be very convincing. It's a weird thing that happens as the brain is switching out of sleep. It's not dangerous and not indicative of any issues. The reason I think that maybe it is because they dissipate like that. I've had it when I was a teenager and young adult. I remember seeing a bunch of bugs crawling up the wall one morning and freaked out. Then they just dissipated like that. But do look into the history of the place and update with any findings. I think it may be a dream. I think it may be that hypgonic or whatever that person just said. I can't speak. It's too late at night. Hallucinations. Yeah. What do you guys think? Comment down below. That's an interesting one. Next. I am like slouching. I am slouching and I'm sorry. It's kind of hard not to slouch. Experience in old downtown Phoenix hotel. Let's see, maybe we can do some research. In the 90s, I worked a few gigs as a crew member on non-union bus and truck musical theater tours. We had an overnight stop, no show, with an early departure the next morning in Phoenix, Arizona. We pulled the bus up to an old downtown hotel. Once inside, my roommates and I were in the back of the group. Okay. When we got to the desk, we found out our tour manager goofed because they had no more reservations for our group and the hotel was full up. An old male clerk and young woman were behind the counter. We asked if they had cots or rolling beds so we could just crash in another of our group's rooms, but the young woman chirped, "Well, actually, we do have one room." The old clerk didn't even look up. "No, we don't." "Yes, we do." After a moment, the old clerk sighed and said, "It's a very small room with 2 old-style twin beds and no air conditioning." We said we'd take it. The room was on the second floor, off by itself up a small set of stairs. There was no number. Inside it was tidy and done up, but the air was stale, as though no one had been in it for some time. We opened the window. The room was super small, with two of the thinnest twin beds I've ever seen, like out of an old movie. Between them was a narrow space just wide enough for a person to walk, and a small bedside table with a phone and a lamp. After grabbing dinner and hitting a nearby bar, we went back to the room and passed out. I have no idea what time it was when I was startled awake, but when I opened my eyes, the room was only very dimly lit by a streetlight coming through a crack in the curtain. The room felt very cold, like see your breath cold. There was a dark figure standing at the foot of the beds, at the bottom of the space between them. In the moment, I didn't know if I was fully awake, dreaming, or somewhere in between, but I couldn't will myself to move or make a sound. The figure was a 3D black shadow, distinct as a person shape, but also out of focus. It took a half step towards me into the thin space between the beds. I shut my eyes and did my best to calm my breathing. Eventually, I must have fallen back asleep because the next thing I knew, the phone was ringing and it was daylight. My roommate was already gone. The call was the bus driver telling me I better haul my ass or get left. When I got on the bus, I asked my roommate why the hell they didn't wake me and said, "I tried, but you didn't wake and I wasn't going to spend another second in that room with the shadow thing between the beds." The hotel may have been the San Carlos, but I'm not certain. Interesting. So there are a lot of haunted hotels in Phoenix. I think the most haunted is the Jerome Grand Hotel. And I have heard of the San Carlos. That's another popular one. I wonder if, so this was in the 90s. I wonder if that's why the one clerk was like, we do not have another room. Because she was like, "Oh yeah, we have another room. It's the one with the demon inside of it." He's like, "God, Cheryl, you can't keep sending people to that room." Honestly, kind of sounds like a story. But I mean, if this is real and the other person saw it, could be real. Also, maybe it's different when you're like in person, but I feel like if I saw that, I'd like roll the other side of the bed and then run out of there. I would also ask the other person multiple questions. There are no comments on this, so tell me what you think. All right, let's see. I prepared a haunted history of Hotel San Carlos in Phoenix. Let's just like skim this. It was built in 1928. It was a frequent go-to for members of Hollywood's golden age: Clark Gable, Carol Lombard, Mae West, Gene Autry, and Marilyn Monroe. I've only heard of Marilyn Monroe, honestly, out of that list. Hotel San Carlos is referenced for its hearsay haunted history. There was a tragedy of a young woman named Leon Jensen. It's difficult to say where the legend and notoriety of Hotel San Carlos would have begun. She's said to be one of the several ghosts roaming the rooms and rooftop of the hotel. It was here on May 28th, 1928, just weeks after its grand opening, that the 20-year-old local newspaper described as a pretty blonde jumped from the 7-story hotel to her death on the street below. The stories surrounding what led Jensen to check into room 720, and check out by the way of the roof are many and speculative, since her death could be because of her bellboy boyfriend. A number of witnesses have reported seeing a woman in white standing at the foot of their beds for several seconds before she walks towards the door and vanishes. She never speaks or appears threatening during the visits. Some have reported seeing the ghost of a little girl sitting and crying in some of the hotel rooms. Some have heard voices of children running in the hallways or laughing in the building's basement area. Believers have attempted to link the sightings of the children to the Native American worshiping grounds on which Hotel San Carlos was built and where early Phoenix settlers erected the city's first school, Little Adobe, in 1874. So, I mean, it's like literally almost 100 years old. In 3 years, well, 2 years, it will be 100 years old. So, and I mean, there's at least one documented death there, but I don't know. That's the only haunted history. It just talks about development after that. Let's see this one. I've never had a paranormal experience before, but I just can't explain this one. I feel silly for even writing this, but here it goes. Yesterday I cleaned my upstairs bathroom countertop. I had everything in a separate room on a towel to let the countertop dry. I took my electric toothbrush downstairs to the kitchen sink to give it a good cleaning and let it dry. This morning, I took it back upstairs to brush my teeth. When I was done, I sat it on the middle of the countertop. It's a spacious 2-sink countertop. Later in the afternoon, I came in the upstairs bathroom to pee and found it on the floor. I didn't know how on earth that happened, but I didn't think too much of it. I took it downstairs to wash with some Dawn dish soap and then took it back upstairs and sat it in the middle of the countertop. Tonight I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth and again it was back on the floor. The only other items on the countertop were a paper towel roll and a small plastic cup. Neither were disturbed. There was no open window and no possible source of breeze. The door was shut, no pets. The toothbrush was sitting in the middle of the countertop. Even if it were to fall over, it's way too far from the ledge to go to the floor. The only possible explanation I could think of was that the electric toothbrush somehow turned itself on and then vibrated its way to the edge, fell down, then turned itself off twice. I tried turning it on while standing to see if it can walk itself, and it doesn't. It just vibrates in place. There has to be a logical explanation, but I can't come close to figuring one out. Would a ghost do something as banal and petty as throwing a toothbrush on the floor a couple times? Interesting. A toothbrush is an interesting item to be thrown, I guess. And I like how this person tried to debunk it, like see if it would vibrate to the edge. But yeah, if it just literally stood in place while it vibrated, I don't think. The only other thing is like, does she live with someone else? But also like 2 times in a row. I feel like once, okay, not enough evidence. Twice, that's like maybe coincidence, but borderline like, okay, something's happening here. And then 3 times is like, I feel like paranormal activity. So I feel like if it happened a 3rd time, absolutely. But twice is still a lot. There are only 2 comments. One says, this sounds like a harmless but very bored ghost. Point a camera on your toothbrush and see what it catches. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, maybe it's just a bored ghost, like trying to be like a cat and like pushing it off the counter. And then the last one says, a malicious entity would. It's pretty funny. To be honest, you had to clean it 3 times now. So it's interesting. We have 2 contradicting comments that says it sounds like a harmless but bored ghost, and then somebody else says a malicious entity would. I feel like it's leaning more towards the bored ghost, but a toothbrush is an interesting object to mess with as a ghost. Maybe it's just like, man, I want to see how many times she can clean her toothbrush. But yeah, I think that's the last one that I have for today. Kind of a short video. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you think of these stories. They didn't really have that many comments, so give me your take. Let's put our brain cells together and you know, see if it's paranormal. While you're down there commenting, click all the buttons. You know what to do. And I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world viewing this, and peace.